but rather by one impartial judge, the clock. To earn a spot in the Busch Clash, you must first win a pole position in a major NASCAR race. And to do that, you not only have to be the fastest, you have to be one of the best. Live from the world center of speed, the 2.5-mile Daytona International Speedway, welcome to the Clash for 1986. A tremendous crowd has gathered to watch 8 cars compete here today. 8 cars that have been brought to a very fine edge for today's competition. Only 8, but these 8 that will be competing on this 2.5-mile track today could set a new record at over 200 miles per hour for the 50-mile, 20-lap distance. Good afternoon, I'm Ken Squire with you here at Daytona as we kick off the stock car segment of Speed Weeks 1986. Those 8 cars lined up are about to get the command to crank up and go for it today. $50,000 to win. You're inside Harry Gant's automobile right now. And there's the word. And this is the beginning. Next Sunday, of course, live coverage starting at noon Eastern of the Daytona 500 right here on CBS. 1 year ago, Terry Labonte averaged 195.865 miles per hour, 15 minutes, 19 seconds to cover this 50-mile distance. That's really traveling. Today, they think they'll go faster. Remember that a year ago on the 500, the first 10 laps were covered at 199-mile-an-hour average. And as you watch it live today, you may be seeing the fastest race of all time right here on CBS. Covering the action with me, the editor-publisher of the National Speed Sport News, Chris Economaki.
Ken, these 8 cars are on the track, but only one of them has seen action in competition before. 7 of them are the new GM bodies. They're untried in competition. Rain has kept practice to an absolute minimum. There are unknown quantities going out on the track. There's gusting winds. There's going to be a lot of excitement, but more importantly, a lot of speed. Now, let's go to Ken Squire for the starting lineup.
Here is the starting order for the Clash of '86. On the pole, the 1985 International Race of Champions winner, Harry Gant, Chevrolet. Beside him, the 1983 and '84 Clash winner, Neil Bonnet, in a Chevy. Rusty Wallace from Missouri brings a Pontiac into the 3rd starting position, wild card selection. Beside him, Dale Earnhardt, the 1980 winner, in a Chevrolet. Darrell Waltrip, the 1981 winner, will start the Junior Johnson Chevy next. And alongside is the $2 million winner of '85, Bill Elliott. Final row, Jeff Bodine, his Chevrolet. And finally, Terry Labonte of Texas, Oldsmobile this year. Last year, he won this race at a record 195.865 miles per hour. The story of the moment is the Ford number 9, Bill Elliott's car. A lot of thrashing on that car from early this morning, and there's more to that story than just the fact they were here at 6:45. Start working on the car. More on that and the Clash in a moment.
Today's presentation of the Busch Clash is sponsored.
Coverage of the Clash of '86. Let's go to pit road. Standing by, 2-time Grand National Champion, Ned Jarrett.
Good afternoon, everyone. Travis Carter, who's the crew chief on Harry Gant's car, told me yesterday that there are 2 drivers in this field that have a better shot at winning than the others because they have the guts. He says that they'll take chances on the last lap. Dale Earnhardt, driver of the car number 3, and Neil Bonnet, driver of the car number 12. Working with me here today is Benny Parsons, former Grand National Champion. Benny, what do you think of that assessment?
Well, I think he's right. Those 2 fellows certainly have guts to go for it on the last lap. But I was talking to Darrell Waltrip just before the start of this race, and the driver that leads most of this race and wins today can win almost a little over $80,000. And with that much money up for grabs, there's going to be more than 2 hands going up for it, believe me.
Plus, you told him to go for it. You got him in the pool.
I got him in the pool, so he better go for it.
And I'll tell you, this is a hit-and-miss situation as far as the car setup is concerned today.
It's incredible because, as Chris mentioned a moment ago, there's been rain, there's been no practice. 7 of these cars, this body style has never hit a racetrack before. They don't know what's going to happen when they get cars in front of them, behind them. The first 2 or 3 laps is going to be lots of caution out there.
Ken, I think it's going to be an interesting race.
One of the interesting things to me is the fact that Dale Earnhardt is the only driver in the race with a special car for this race. He doesn't have to worry about saving it for next Sunday.
That Bill Elliott car, number 9, the crew chief, Ernie Elliott, not here today. He's watching this race from his bed up in Ormond Beach. He has a terrible case of the flu, and so Dan Elliott takes over as crew chief for today, and they have been working as hard or harder than any crew here. 6:45 this morning, we arrived. They were already in there thrashing on car number 9. They were the last ones to leave last night.
The work never finishes, Ken. Harry Gant on the pole said he wished he had drawn number 2 starting position. He's concerned about Neil Bonnet pulling away and him not being able to get into the high-speed lineup when they hit turn 1. We'll have to watch and see if that's the way it turns out.
8 automobiles starting today. The least cars to start this event, 7 back in 1981 when Darrell Waltrip won the event. 5 Chevrolets, a Ford, a Pontiac, and an Oldsmobile about to go, and the rich one and could be the fastest one in history.
There's no Clash rookies in this lineup. Everybody in the field has been in this race before.
Crowd on their feet, and it's a tremendous crowd out here. Qualifying yesterday, rained out. This is the first stock car activity of Speed Week. On the break, Bonnet gets his nose out in front. Remember, he won this race in 83 and 84, and he came from deep back. And look at Bodine, the yellow car, bottom of the track. Out of the back row, he's taken 2 automobiles as he approaches turn 1, squarely up in front. Gant, and there goes number 3. Earnhardt going to work.
This is just what Gant was afraid of. He couldn't get in behind Bonnet. He has to go back to 3rd and maybe even further.
4th.
It's tight out there.
Back to 5th. The Bandit Gant sliding back into 5th position. Back straightaway. You see Bonnet out in front and going into 2nd position. The 1980 winner who used this race as a springboard to take him to the 1980 National Championship. Here they come. Out of turn number 4. First time. Coming down into the tri-oval area. Neil Bonnet, the only 2-time winner of the Clash, leads lap 1. Earnhardt is in 2nd. Bodines started to come up through. He's fallen back into the 6th position now. Gant in the green car on the inside. The Oldsmobile of Labonte. Remember, Labonte won it in a Chevrolet a year ago, further back. Everybody watching out of turn number 2. Very tricky turn at full speed, over 200 miles per hour here.
And the question is, where's Bill Elliott, the man who dominated this series last year, is way back deep in the pack.
3rd. Running 3rd on the inside now. Elliott trying to... And there you see them. And there's Bodine pulling up through. Way out and back is number 11, Waltrip. Waltrip, tail ender. Bodine has come up to 4th. Jeff Bodine up to 4th. Here they come back to the line. Lap 5, and here comes Elliott. Elliott is blocked as they came out of the tri-oval. Elliott trying to make a move on the outside, and Earnhardt wouldn't let him through, but it is Bodine on the inside into 2nd place. Jeff Bodine, number 5, goes to 2nd. Neil Bonnet stays 1st. Earnhardt now in 3rd. Watch is clicking away as they go down the back straightaway. Let's see if Bodine will take a stab at that front running position in the Hendrick Chevrolet.
Elliott had a handful of car there when he tried to make that move. At these great speeds, you have to trust the man that you're about to pass and have to have racing room. Here's Bodine now, moving up behind Bonnet. This is the car that Terry Labonte won this Clash with last year with a new body on it.
3 laps complete, this time by 3 of 20. Now you see Elliott going to the inside. And again, Earnhardt is there. Very squirrely as they come out of the tri-oval, Chris.
I tell you, I've never seen cars weave from side to side like this in the past before. These cars are said to be very stable, but obviously they don't draft like the drivers would like them to. And there's Earnhardt pulling by Bodine on the inside.
Dale Earnhardt dropping down low. Bodine fights him off out of turn number 2. Watching it live here on CBS next Sunday, 12 Eastern. The Daytona 500, 28th annual. Bonnet pulling away for a moment. The draft getting interrupted a little bit further back in the field as Elliott tried to go on the high side of Earnhardt. Chevrolets running 1, 2, and 3.
It's the Pontiac and the Olds are out of the top 4, and that's a surprise because everybody felt these particular body styles would be the ones to watch today.
4 laps complete. Next lap is worth $5,000. Laps 5 and 15 worth $5,000. Lap 10 is worth an additional $10,000. You can see that Earnhardt is getting a little edgy to go for the money.
Well, Bonnet's picking off $1,250 every time he crosses the start-finish stripe. $1,250 to lead the laps that don't have the extra bonus attached.
Watch them bow the back straightaway. They come off on one side, they go all the way back and come all the way to the inside and then leap up into that turn number 3.
Elliott tried to come up the inside there. Bodine's car sideways. Oh, Bodine has really got a handful of car.
He picks it up, he loses it.
He's out of control.
Bodine slithers down to the inside, spins it all the way around once. twice. Jeff Bodine out for a spin this afternoon. Caution is on.
There goes our 200-mile-an-hour race, Ken. But these cars, they're worn out as tires there. You can see that. The speeds are so great. The aerodynamics of these cars apparently let them get through the air quicker, but they don't have the downforce the old cars had. They don't look as stable.
Now remember, those opera windows in the back are covered over this year, and that makes them a little more stable. They say that's helping those cars some up there. Jeff Bodine coming in after a wild ride in turns 3 and 4. Chris, we still could get a record here. These laps don't count. They'll have to come back up to speed another time, but even last year when they had to come up after a blown engine late in the race, they were able to average 195 miles per hour.
Well, that's an interesting observation. There's the pit crew going to work on Bodine's car. It's a breather for these fellows.
Replay. And here you see Bodine slithering, trying to gather it up.
What happened there, he had to correct to keep from running into the back of Earnhardt's car, and that got the car's attitude. Now he's overcorrecting here. It starts up. He twists that steering wheel around, and it finally gets away from him. Notice how calm those behind him are. They don't move away. The old racing adage, aim for the car that's spinning, because by the time you get there, it won't be there. Applied right here.
A lucky man, Jeff Bodine, and one of the favorites to win next Sunday in the 500. Average speed, first 5 laps. How about this, Economaki? 202.703 miles per hour.
And Darrell Waltrip has come to the pits with a smoking engine. This has been a tough day for the favorites' automobiles. 202.
Another angle.
All that smoke is the tires smoking against the asphalt. Bodine's a skilled and experienced driver, and he should be thankful that all the others in the field with him are equally skilled. Were they not so skilled, one of them may well have rammed him.
There you see Jeff Bodine on pit road. Boy, he took a spin, and he was so lucky not to get collected as he came through with 3 cars behind him that had a chance of
this may be a plus. This may be a plus for Bodine, because whatever changes the car needed vis-a-vis stagger could have been accomplished there, where the other fellows out there can't do that. This seems to be a very difficult day from a handling standpoint for these drivers, except for Bonnet, who's got a strong engine in that Junior Johnson number 12.
Bonnet going for his 3rd win in the Clash, and you'll see more of it live here on CBS after we pause for these messages. All 8 competitors are back on the track. Waltrip's car, which started to smoke just prior to Bodine's problem. Here from another angle, take a look at what happened to Bodine.
See how close he comes to Earnhardt's car. He has to turn away to keep him taking the left rear corner. Now that upsets the attitude of the number 5 car. He's down on it, hits the bottom, bounces up, and corrects. And Elliott goes by on the top side. There's that smoke coming off the tires. Rusty Wallace goes by in the Pontiac Harry Gant, the Chevy, and all got by obviously okay.
Here he is down at the bottom of the racetrack, beginning that series of loops after the serious part of that incident up there in turn number 3. Back on the track with 4 fresh tires, Jeff Bodine in car number 5. Let's go down to Ned Jarrett and Benny Parsons.
One concern to have about that car number 5 is that the front end might have been knocked out of alignment, Benny.
I'm sure that the front end is knocked out of line because the front spoiler was bent back completely under the car. There's damage to the nose of the car. I don't look for the 5 car to be competitive. Darrell Waltrip had an excellent starting spot, went straight to the back. He made a pit stop. The car was pushing. It was too tight. They adjusted the chassis, adjusted the rear spoiler. I do seem to see some competition from Darrell Waltrip.
Well, if that's the case, Kenny, Junior Johnson is an absolute master of diagnosing chassis. Waltrip should be a factor now that they've restarted.
Under green another time. Neil Bonnet has fended off everyone so far. He had been in 6 of these events through last year, missed the event last year. Worked alongside Ned Jarrett on pit road, but this is where he wanted to be, and he's leading one more time. And right there is Earnhardt, and look who's in 3rd, the man who won it a year ago. Terry Labonte has pulled up number 44 into that 3rd position.
And here comes Earnhardt, the man with the car he doesn't have to worry about, because this is a flash car. And boy, does he whistle by Neil Bonnet on the inside.
Notice that Elliott stays right there in 4th. He's been able to run right with the leaders, but hasn't wanted to show his hand as yet. When they come by this time, there will be 6 laps complete. Dale Earnhardt, 1980 winner of the Clash, is back in front another time in the Kurt Schilberdine car. Richard Childress, the owner. Here they are back into the tri-oval. I think Bonnet may have wanted that to happen.
I think so. I think he was concerned about the pace. Maybe his gauges show the engine's heating up or something he doesn't like, so he's going to sit there for a while because, as our people in the pit said, that these are the 2 men who have the bravura to do anything on the last lap to win.
Out of the inside, out of turn number 2 in that long 3,000-foot back straightaway. Goes Earnhardt, and here comes Bonnet up another time.
I've never seen drivers like this use as much racetrack on the back straightaway as these fellows use back and forth, going from one side of the track to the other.
What do you think will happen next Sunday with 40 cars out there?
I have to get ready for that.
Back they come, and here comes Labonte up on the outside, not getting through. Again playing a waiting game. Picking up a car or two comes Bodine.
You know, it's interesting that the new body styles are the ones out front, Ken.
Something really amiss on Waltrip, running way out back, the 1981 winner of this event. We had a lot of second-place finishers in it.
You know, Bonnet's memory must be pretty good. In the races that he's won here, he only led the final lap. He did it on the last lap, and maybe that's what he's counting to do again.
And the most dramatic race they had here was that first one that he won in 1983, that big shunt right there in turn number 3, right at the finish. That was the year when this Dale Earnhardt car showed just a whole lot of smoke. He was finally penalized about $5,000 for it. Now there's the lap time coming up on this lap. And we have a 45.6 being recorded. 197, so they pulled him up a little. Cavorting out in front. The present time, number 3, Dale Earnhardt. Now you're looking at the back of the field. There's Bodine. He is running in the 6th position. There's Rusty Wallace with a lone Pontiac in the field in 7th, and Waltrip all the way out back.
And the fans are watching as they go around here. There's Bonnet now, trying to eyeball Dale Earnhardt in front of him. What he's doing now is he's evaluating Earnhardt's style and the capabilities of that number 3 car, so what he can do when it comes time to make his passing try, whether it be before the end or on that very last lap. There's a $21,000, a $29,000 difference between first and second place payoff, and that's a lot of money.
Third start for Dale Earnhardt in this event. Everybody uses this as a springboard into the Daytona 500. Qualifying rained out yesterday, so truly we don't know what any of these cars have to show. They'll start the qualifying for the front row tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. halfway when they come by this time.
One of the things the rain did was clean up the track and washed all the grease and oil off that was left on the track in the 24-hour race of last weekend. So the track is very tacky. They're getting a good grip on it now, which has an effect on the handling. They haven't been able to test under these circumstances.
Halfway. Here you see Terry Labonte's dad looking on. Here they come, halfway this time by.
$5,000 for Dale Earnhardt as he hits the stripe.
$10,000. Halfway is a 10-grand marker, then $5,000 at lap 15 when they get down to the finish of this race. Back to the inside and trying to move up another time. That is the number 12 car, Neil Bonnet. Boy, I'll tell you, Ned Jarrett and Travis Carter hit it right on the nose at the top. Those two now trying to draw away from the field, and they have about a 10-car length advantage. As you watch it live here on CBS, and you'll see it all next Sunday, in-car cameras include the winner last year, number 9, Bill Elliott, the Darrell Waltrip car, and the King may be back in force. Richard Petty. They'll be carrying CBS onboard cameras next week.
Elliott's number 9 Ford has started to move in on those 2 leaders. Looking at the records, Earnhardt won his flag with a last lap pass, as has Bonnet. So maybe Earnhardt wants to be second as it comes down near the finish.
Anxious onlookers here at the Daytona International Speedway in record numbers for today's Clash. And Elliott is closing in on those 2 leaders with the Ford. As you look across on the backside of the racetrack down that 3,000-foot back straightaway, we see Earnhardt in front, and here comes Elliott. Elliott has been off his feet. He has been sick, but he's got his foot down now and looking pretty healthy as he goes into turn number 3 and goes to second place. The folks here love it when Elliott begins to roll it out.
He's been NASCAR's most popular driver for 2 seasons. Awesome Bill from Dawsonville is on the move.
The $2 million winner from last year. Back they come into the Tri-Oval another time. 12 laps now complete. 12 complete. Elliott just sneaks the peak at first place and pulls back in. And pulling up again comes number 12. He falls back. Elliott by 4, maybe 5 car lengths from where he was on car number 3.
You can see that number 12, Bonnet in 3rd place, his car tracks better through the turns. He stays lower on the banking. Elliott's car goes a little bit high. He needs that extra radius. Oh, here comes Elliott eyeballing Earnhardt for that move that will put him into the $50,000 front position.
When Elliott wants to move up, he just comes thundering. Back they come through the Tri-Oval, or to the Tri-Oval another time. It is still Earnhardt working on his second win of this event. And when he wants to, Elliott just pulls up. Just absolutely wheels up on the back of that car. It looks like Elliott has the horses to contend with these General Motors cars before this day is over, Chris.
Well, it appears to be. We'll have to wait and see. Harry Gann had his hands full a moment ago with number 33. These are great speed. Now, watch. See there. Earnhardt comes way down off of turn 2 and then down low and back up again. He's sort of weaving down the back straightaway, trying to break the draft.
Bill Elliott, who has been third here on 2 occasions, in 83 and 85, really trying to better the mark this afternoon. Now look at Labate in the Oldsmobile, the blue and white car, coming up on the inside. Not finding running room. Bodine has made a nice comeback after that spin. You see him back there, the Hendrick car, yellow car, running in 5th position.
You know, in addition to the fans rooting for their favorites here, there are people here from Detroit, from Chevrolet, from Ford, from Oldsmobile, and from Pontiac, all with their fingers crossed that their particular product can excel in this interesting contest.
Laps running out. Select your winner, ladies and gentlemen, out of Kannapolis, North Carolina originally. Ralph Dale Earnhardt is out in front. The second place car, Elliott in the Ford, hanging right in there. And then number 12, out of the Junior Johnson stable, Neil Bonnet is there.
And Elliott tries low. Now you see his car's in the middle of the track. Bonnet can stay down low. There's Bonnet down low in the 3rd place for the red number 12. Where the car can go is going to be very important before this race is over. And where it wants to go.
5 to go this time by. 5 to go this time by. Chevrolet has won this race 3 times. Buick twice. Oldsmobile back in 79 and 81. Never a Ford, never a Pontiac in victory lane from the Clash. Neil Bonnet, can you run 200 miles per hour side by side in this race?
I don't know if we can run there 200 miles an hour side by side, but I tell you what, if it requires, that's what I'm going to do. In a race like this, you have to do things that you can't do under normal circumstances. They might tell me my car won't do that, or it might not go 2 abreast through those corners. But if it takes 3 abreast on the last lap, or down in the edge of that grass, or down in the dirt, that's what's going to happen.
Well, we've got 5 cars all in contention to win it all here this afternoon. And the big surprise, Bodine making this tremendous comeback. He did stand up the front of the car. You saw it ricochet off the apron of the track. 4 laps to go, $180,000 at stake. And there's a big interval between 1st and 2nd in the payoff, as Chris indicated to you earlier.
Earnhardt has already banked $22,500 in this race today. He's not doing bad. But Mr. Elliott's about ready to give him a nudge.
Elliott is there. Bill Elliott pulls back a little as they go into turn number 3. Now, that's interesting. As you notice that picture into 3, he comes back every time, and that's where you want to jump in if you're going to make the move.
I think the gearing here is a problem. These, as I say, this lack of testing has not allowed these drivers to set up the cars they really would like to have had them.
The gearing for this race just a little lower than what you would have for the 500. They want a little more snap in them here, and they're willing to take a little more risk on them. This car, number 44, came with an engine for this race, for the 125s, for qualifying, and for the 500. All individual engines, plus 2 or 3 spares. They mean business down here as we get ready for the $1 million 28th Annual Daytona 500 next Sunday. Live flag-to-flag coverage on CBS. Today, the Clash. We're getting down to it now. A couple of laps to go when they come around this time.
50,000, 21,000, 16,000, and 13,000, the payoff. And Dale Earnhardt is already thinking about talking to his tax man.
Let's see if they've turned up the screw a little on car number 3. Checking the time of the 45.7. Speed 196.94. And here we see at car number 9, again, up to within 3 car lengths of the leader. They're running side by side for 3rd place. That'll slow them down some. Back straightaway. Let's see what Elliott will do here. Bill Elliott, the man who won everything last year, came home with more than $2 million, trying to close in on Dale Earnhardt. And Earnhardt will shorten that track up considerably here. Back to 3. Trying to go in a little lower that time was Elliott. Falls back about 3 car lengths. All right, the big payoff coming up. White flag in the starter's hand. 1 lap remaining. This is it in the Clash. A preview of the excitement to be generated next Sunday. 40 cars plus. Battle it out. In the 1986 Daytona 500.
The fans are getting ready to do their cheering now, but it looks as though Mr. Earnhardt has the muscle in that number 3 Chevy to keep that Ford at bay. Unless Bill Elliott can come up with a dramatic burst of speed here, it's going to be Dale Earnhardt.
Bodine going up into 4th. Story is for the lead. Dale Earnhardt is there, trying to win it for the second time. Collecting $25,000 in lap money. And Elliott's car, he gave it everything going into number 3. The car scoots high. Now Elliott closes as they come out of turn number 4. It's Elliott closing. He's pulling up. They're coming for the tri-oval. It's only 1,800 feet out of turn 4 to the line. At the line, it is Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt knocks it down. Earnhardt wins his second Clash, as closing at the final moments was Bill Elliott. We'll be back in just a moment here at the Clash of '86. Dale Earnhardt, averaging 195.8 miles an hour, defeats Bill Elliott in second, Neil Bonnet in third, and the days of the Ford may be numbered for the 500 next Sunday after what we've seen here today. For Chris Economaki and Ned Jarrett, along with Benny Parsons, I'm Ken Squire. That's the story this afternoon of the Clash of '86.
Busch Clash has been sponsored by the U.S. Army, a place to be